Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Moan Hicks. Come here. No, come closer. Come here. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? If everything that you ever did, every idea that you had, every action that you took would be successful, what would you do? Think back over your whole life at all of the things that you dreamed of, the things that you thought of as a kid. When you were growing up, you thought that you could ever be. What if you could do those things? What would happen? Some of us would try to lose weight because we don't try because we think that we will fail. Some of us would try to go to school, try to get that education, something that we always thought we were too dumb to do. What about starting that business, that idea that you always had, but you thought you didn't know enough to do it, or you were discouraged by everything and you never tried it? That piece of art that you thought you could paint, learning a new language. The world is open to you. But the problem is that many of us, we don't see it that way. We allow the fear that's within us to control us. The reason why a lot of people don't achieve the things that they desire to do is because of the fear of failure and the fear of success. The fear of failure is a learned behavior. It's something that your body figures out how to do to protect you from being hurt. So at some point in our lives, we were hurt. Somebody told us that we couldn't do it. Somebody told you that you was dumb. Somebody told you that you would never amount to anything. And that fear of having that feeling all over again is what's holding you where you are. It's keeping you stuck in that one bedroom apartment. It's keeping you stuck on that job you don't like. That fear of failure. Some people have a fear of success. They would rather stay where they are because they think they're not worthy of the things that's going on around them. Those are the same people who say, I don't want a promotion because I can't be a manager. You tell yourself things that you can't do, and that keeps you from doing the things that you can do. That question about what would you do if you couldn't fail, I'm often reminded of my Bible verses, especially the verses from the book of Ephesians. So around the 3rd chapter in Ephesians, he talks about how we are strengthened by his might in the inner man. So the thing inside of you is already strong. It's already there. It's already strengthened by his grace. But you know what we do? We weaken it every day when we tell ourselves we can't, or we shouldn't, or we don't. You weaken that inner man that's already been strengthened by the Spirit and the might of the Spirit. Now around verse 20, the word says, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Once that inner man is strengthened, you have that power inside of you, and it can exceedingly abundantly work in your favor. The problem is, many of us, we don't dream big enough, because it said it can exceedingly and abundantly work inside of you. You have something, your body is like an incubator, and when that strength and that power and that ambition is put inside, you cook it and you raise it up, and it's meant to come out and do things. But again, we often block our own ourselves. God has given us the power to do all things. I just read it for you. So when are you going to dream big enough? When are you going to get up and try to do things that you think you couldn't fail at? So what would you do? Start a business? Sing in front of a crowd? Learn a new skill? Would you go and ask for that raise? Would you climb the highest peak you can find? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Would you help the homeless? How about getting married? Finally overcoming that? Just building something. Whether it be something physical or you building a new you can't fail. How about start a charity and help someone? You know what? Dream bigger. You can be vulnerable. Most of us are afraid of that. Be yourself. You can show people the real you, not the one that you use to hide things, not the one that has you living in fear. So tell me, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? You can finally execute your plans, create a future for you, your kids, your wife, your family. What would you do if you couldn't fail? You can reach your full potential. You can lose weight. You can get smarter. You can be more healthy. There's a ton of things that you can do, but you are afraid that you will fail. So what would you do if you knew for a fact you wouldn't fail? Ready? Because I can't fail. And I won't fail. So let's go.